Hello everybody, welcome back to Bait Extra. I really want to say something regarding this episode, but Well, what was happening is I was getting ready to record this in Summonite, but then I remembered that I actually didn't need to upload Summonite today. That's tomorrow. So I was getting ready to record more stuff than I need to. Of course, I should record it, so I have it ready, but I didn't have time. I was doing other things. So all I have time today is to record this episode. And I did record enough where I completed the week at least, so there's that. So the episode after this should be the one where we fight our opponent now. And that's not an understatement about what Rin's saying. Our opponent is insanely tough. You know, I've been saying that you didn't need to be my level, but with Caster especially, if you haven't been either focusing more on defense with Caster than I have been, you're going to have a really tough time facing against this enemy this week. I had a tough time. It took me a few tries to actually win. I kind of want to save this for the battle, but I suppose if you're going to go on ahead of me, I suppose I'll mention this now. I think that I'll mention this again once we actually battle the enemy. But I think the enemy's Noble Phantasm has a prerequisite where they need to have certain certain buffs before it can be used. Because in that battle, before I used my Noble Phantasm, I wanted them to use theirs, so I'd be able to finish them off. Because what the enemy servant can do is that they can also buff themselves, so that when they lose all their HP, they revive with 10% HP. Now you can get rid of this with you can get rid of this with normal stat debuff items or formal wear, which is the magnificent garments, whatever, something like that. It says in the description that it gets rid of status buffs. Because in the battle that I was facing against enemy servant, in the end, it took a little bit longer than it should have because I was waiting for the enemy to use their Noble Phantasm. Because if you don't guard against that, you're dead. If you're playing as Caster, especially. That's just something. So anyway, Rin's giving us some a program to help us take care of that effigy there. There's no time limit this time around when we're going to fight the effigy. So overall it should be pretty easy. But yeah. If you're wondering what's a good level to beat the game at, 45 is really the highest you really need to be, especially as Caster. You really don't need to be higher than level 45. To beat the entire game. Not just Leo. The entire game in general, you really don't need to be higher than level 45. So level 40 to 45 should be your level when you're going to complete the game. Caster, of course, considering how fragile she is, you are going to take a lot of damage as Caster. If you're wondering what happened there, I just went into the arena and didn't expect a cutscene to actually happen when I went in there. And the effigy thing, I think, is a little closer than he was before. So be prepared to fight him. You'll see him coming up, but I didn't see him before until the cutscene actually triggered. So he's there. I believe he's right where the Nephilim, around the area where the Nephilim we fought yesterday was. So this battle is actually easy, and his patterns are actually similar to the enemy servant we're gonna fight. So if you can recognize and remember, bleh. So you might want to keep track of this guy's patterns. What I found out is that when they're doing weight, you can pretty much do whatever you want. It's the period where you can do Merciful Sky or whatever. But considering how much HP this guy is and how much damage we can do with Merciful Sky, he gets taken down in one hit. So he isn't any much of a threat. But it does give us quite a bit of experience, so that's good. If you're wondering what level I do grind up to, it's level 39. That's the level I beat this weekend. The main reason I felt like that I have a bit of trouble with this week's boss is mainly because of it's a berserker. They do a lot of physical damage. They don't really use many skills, but the skills they do relies on their, I believe, relies on their like attack stat, and it can actually kill caster in one shot. I think it's done that before. Well, actually, I think after a buff, it can kill caster in one shot. Anyway, I think a Nephilim actually appears on the floor during this day, but I'm not sure if I actually fight it. I forget if a Nephilim appears on this floor during this day or whether or not that's the next day. I know a Nephilim appears on this floor at least twice, but I have no reason to really take it down anymore. So, There might be another conversation with caster, but that's just optional, and it really isn't that important. But yes, there is an enemy, a boss type enemy, I guess you call it. Moby Dick. Kind of the two games I'm playing right now on my channel had enemies called Moby Dick. Anyway, yeah, this guy's pretty powerful, but Merciful Sky skill, that sort of combo should get you through this. By the way, the Scarlet Formal Wear is one of the best healing formal wears you can actually equip. It removes any status, it removes any debuffs, and recovers your HP. It does use a lot of MP though, but it is a good status. It's one of the best healing items in the game. There might be a better healing item, I don't know. You can't stun this guy, so there's no point in trying. He will spawn again. He will spawn here the next day after you defeat him this day, so you can find him again for some quick experience. But he doesn't respawn. As in, if you run around the arena, he doesn't come back. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't come back. If he comes back, then you have to wait in the arena for a long time. I grinded one level in the arena, actually. But anyway, as you can see here, he isn't anything too difficult. He can inflict poison on you, as you can see there, and I think that's all he can do. I know he can probably attack you with one of his skills, but Oh, I suppose I should mention this. It's one thing I noticed. Merciful Sky, I think, only applies to attack you do it right after it. So you can't do Merciful Sky into a skill like on your. You can't do Merciful Sky on your first turn to a skill on your fourth turn. It won't. I don't believe it will actually make that move stronger. It has to be right after you do Merciful Sky. Anyway, guy isn't so tough. And he does give 3,000 experience, so that's good. Oh hell, sushi. But anyway, you need to fight this guy to get the Scarlet Formal Wearer's approval. Now, I don't think it's actually required to actually move on with the week, so. But I would recommend getting it. If you can't beat Moby Dick, then you have no chance of beating the enemy for this week. Jesus. So if you can't beat Moby Dick, grind your arse off. If you can't defeat Moby Dick, then you shouldn't. You should be grinding. Heck, if you can't even defeat any opponent in the arena, you should be grinding. That's pretty much what you should be doing if you can't defeat any opponent. I'd say being able to soundly defeat all the opponents in the arena is a good starting point. Well, it's a good not starting point. It's a good indicator that you're doing well. But if you're having trouble against opponents in the arena, then you should probably do some grinding or use skills more often. Because at this point in the game, you don't really need to. You have enough MP and you have a lot of MP restorative items. Well, you have MP heal and MP restorative items for the Master, not the Serpent. So you should be able to spam skills. Because grinding does get you money, and money is plentiful in this game as long as you grind, I suppose. Even just fighting all the enemies in the arena gives you a decent amount of money. And this floor only has one new enemy. It's these guys over here. We've seen their earlier counterparts, but they're not that tough. Merciful Sky and a skill is enough to take them down. That's all you need to do, and you'll be fine. There we go. And they do give it a lot of experience, actually. Yeah, those are the only new enemies there. So if you've done some grinding in the previous floors, you actually don't really need a lot of MP for grinding here, considering if you did grind the previous floor like I did, you should know a significant amount of the enemy's patterns by default. Anyway, we got the Seer's crystal balls. Didn't mean to say that. Crystal ball, which shows us the map. Now, this isn't permanent. This will run out after a while. But I just use it to show me where to go, essentially. These phalanx. I've never actually seen any of their attacks because I just killed them before they actually do anything. Ever since I got Shockwave Second Strike, I've fallen in love with it. I see it as a necessity in the arena now. Because Caster can usually take down an enemy in two hits with their skills. I wouldn't recommend selling your formal wares just for New Game Plus' sake, because you might have a formal wear that's you might have a better like a healing formal wear, but it uses more MP, and when you're starting the game again, you probably don't have the MP to use it, because I don't think I'm pretty sure your levels don't carry over when you New Game Plus. What carries over is money and formal wear. So before you actually finish the game for the first time, you might want to grind up money to purchase all the formal wares, so you have them all. This game has quite a decent amount of replayability, considering there's 3 different servants to play as, and they have different fighting styles, essentially. And there's 2 different routes you can take, the Rin or Ronnie route. So this game does have a lot of play time, so I don't think you'd be... I don't think you'd be... How much is this game actually on the... Let's go... I usually see off Amazon. That's where I usually go to see how much things cost. Probably be better to go like in eBay or something. But let's see here. An extra... 20 looks like you can get it new from at around $27. You can get it used for cheaper than that. So it isn't that expensive. I would recommend it. I think I grinded to a level 38 on that day, and then I grinded level 39 on the next day. I think that's what I did. Yeah, at this point you should have 100% on all the arena floors. If not, get your 100% on the second floor of the arena on this day. I don't think you actually get anything for getting 100%. I think it's just there to tell you that you missed something. Anyway, let's Rin. Yeah, it's kind of fairly obvious. As our character is going to say, there was a 50% chance of who it was going to be. Leo told us it wasn't him, and he's not the type of guy to lie. So he's either the unnamed 4th guy, or it was Ronnie. And if we remember last time, Ronnie did have a berserker type servant. He looked berserker-ish. So it's quite obvious that it's Ronnie. She's our opponent. Now, of course, we're not going to hold back, and Ronnie isn't either. So we're going to take her out. Yes, that's reason enough to live, to eat somebody's lunch. What the? Oh, hey, Caster. I don't think the game actually like acknowledges whether or not. Well, I'm sure it will eventually, but like in normal cutscenes, it doesn't acknowledge that event we had with Cast earlier to get to. Well, it was required to get Matrix level E, which we will get during the next week. I'm sure some dialogue will change eventually, but I think in normal cutscenes, it won't be brought up. Who knows? Maybe it will be. as far as I'm aware, dialogue doesn't change that much. It might, I think there might be some like CG at the end that might change. I'm not too sure on that. I don't think that's actually the case, but who knows. After playing this game, I kind of want to play Fate Extra Triple C, but I have no way of playing that right now. I think there is a translation going for it, but the group that picked it up from where the previous group left off is not their main focus right now. Their main focus is what is it? I think it's another. It's a visual novel from the Fate series, I believe. I'm not entirely too sure on that. Let me look it up. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that's a fake thing. Fan translation was revived as far as I was aware. I don't believe the actual I believe guy called CJ_Iwakura is and I believe he might have a team, is taking on the game. And 4.3 megabytes of text. That's a lot. So I mean, he predicts that his project will be done by 2018, and that was a joke, but he has other projects that he's working on, as I think. So I don't know if he's working on it now or what. Like, I know I've been studying Japanese on my own, but I say that, but I doubt I'm ever going to be able to get to a fluent level on my own. I mean, I would like to get to a fluent level on my own, but I doubt that I'd do it. I'd be able to do it. Now, this, I don't believe we have much. I don't think Caster has any new dialogue for us. Yeah, she doesn't. So I'll see you guys again next time. Whenever that is, considering there's only a minute left in the video. I don't think I do much before, but get to the start of the arena. So I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.